Okay, hi guys. I'm gonna show you how I make very low cost, very lightweight heated grips. Do it yourself. First you need, or I recommend you to use resistor wire. It's Kanthal wire, 0.5 millimeter diameter. It has a resistance of 6.88 ohms per meter. That makes it quite perfect to have the length you need for this kind of setup. You cannot solder Kanthal wire with normal soldering, so instead I'm using these aluminium press connectors. This is for 0.5 to 1.5 square millimeter. So I used those to connect the Kanthal wire with the electrical cables that I'm then going to use to connect these heated grips. Okay, so I want to tell you a bit about the principle. The Kanthal wire is, wired around the grip. As it is located on the outside, the grip itself will isolate the temperature, so it will stay on the outside and not go into the handlebar. That means it gets quite hot even if you don't use a lot of watt. I use 10 watt when I drive Enduro in Sweden, minus 10 degrees in the winter time. But okay, then it's a very hard exercise. If you drive on the road or gravel road, of course, I guess 10-12 watt would be perfect to have on a constant basis. So, and then after having this wire, I use one layer of Vulk tape to keep the wire in place, so you don't get a shortcut. And I'm gonna show you a little bit how I calculate this. So you have 13 volt in the motorbike, so you take the voltage gain times itself, and then you divide with the resistance. And if you take 2 meters of this wire, it is 6.88 ohms per meter. It means roughly 7 ohms per meter. So for 2 meters you get 14 ohms. So if you divide now this figure with 14, you get the result 12 watt for one handle, which is perfect. So by using this Kanthal wire, 2 meters active wire will generate 12 watt of heat in one grip, and I think that is really a good start. Okay, so I used some wire just to get a starting point for this Kanthal wire. You have now 2 meters of Kanthal wire, and the middle part is here, and then you start to go around. You keep them a few millimeters apart constantly, so you don't get a shortcut. You probably need to do this a couple of times to get used to it and get it nicely done. You need to stretch it a little bit while you are winding it. I'm actually surprised how good it works, given how kind of simple it is and homemade. So just to fix it preliminary, put some electric tape here so it stays. So, and then I will inspect the wires so they are having a good distance all the way. I will adjust it, and then I will put the Vulk tape around it. Okay, so then you put the layer of Vulk tape. You stretch it a little bit when you put it on, and then it will stick to itself and it's supposed to vulcanize together. And One layer I think is enough. This is a tricky part, because you don't want to have this Kanthal wire. It has a tendency to want to unwind itself. I think I'm gonna try to fix it like this, so it doesn't escape. So yeah, it's a little bit of handiwork. So the next step is to put these Kanthal wires through two small holes here in the hand, in the grips, and then I'm gonna add the cables to it, and then continue with the cable to the bike and connect it to a relay and a fuse. So this is how it looks on the throttle side. The Kanthal wire goes through the grips, and then I have some shrink tube with the heat glue inside. You can buy it already prepared with heat glue from Biltema. I will recommend it if you are from the Nordic countries. And then I have this, yeah, again, Biltema protection layer on top of everything. And as I said, I really have tried this a lot on my Enduro bike, and it has never failed. Okay, so now I have added the final layer on the grip, which is a hockey tape. I just didn't have anything else at this moment. It's not an ideal outer layer. It's very good for resistance of wear, but it's not, it's pretty slippery. You will need something on top of the Vulk tape, because the Vulk tape will otherwise wear out very quickly. I've done different things depending on the used. When I've been driving just Enduro, I have been using just a Kanthal wire very tightly wired around the grip, and then two strings of silicone glue, one on each side here, to keep the Kanthal wire in place so it didn't move sideways, so I could minimize, or so I didn't risk to get a shortcut. Then the next step is to add the Vulk tape, for example, and then a layer of 3M grip tape. That's very good for also for Enduro and dual use. Pretty costly. Or you can actually use this hockey tape style if you're just going to ride on the road. Okay, next step is to take the infrared camera, turn on the heat on the grips, and see what happens. Okay, so this is how it looks after about a minute and a half. We have they're quite warm, but if you put the hand, the temperature will equalize and be distributed. It feels really warm, almost hot, but I have no gloves. And yeah, on the left side, this is how it looks. Here it looks a little bit more complicated than it is, but here it comes from the relay, the main power from the relay, the main ground from the battery, the signal cable that goes to the relay. It's connected with the standard connector here on the KTM and Husqvarna, which is available. There is one couple of connectors here that connects when you turn the key on, and there is another two where you have constant power. But I always want to make sure that when I turn off the key, I will not drain the battery. So what I did, I connected here. This is for the heated grips, left and right. Goes to the ground. I have a common ground here. And then here comes the power. I have a harness with different outlets so I can connect different things. I actually now already connected the heated grips, plus I connected a USB. I have a USB here below, so I can have extra power for that one. For the heated grips, I found a switch in one of my boxes, which I used. So now I have one additional output available in case I want to have some extra lights or something on the bike. I have added a power outlet here on the side that also goes with the relay. Here I can connect my heated body armor, or for example a helmet light if I want to have a strong LED light on the helmet, as I do when driving Enduro in Sweden at night time. I could connect the connector here from the arbor. If I would crash and fly off the bike, it will just disconnect automatically. The friction of these is quite good, it will stay, but if you crash they will rip apart. But it's quite important to use the shrink tube here with the integrated heat glue inside. You can buy that, and then it gets quite good fixed here. So if you fix the wire, there is no risk that it breaks when you crash from ripping those apart. So yeah, then I'm all set when it comes to power outlets on this bike. The power cables is routed from the relay, comes to the headlight mask this way, goes along the motorbike until the rear, where I have a 30 amp fuse. The relay is under these cables here, there was space for it. So I can then use, let's say, safely 250 watt in total for the USB chargers I have here, double. I have this outlet, I have the heated grips, and I have this additional power outlet. So I have heated grips is about 22 watt together. Here I can put another 20 watt for heated armor, 40 plus a helmet light, maybe another 50, that's 90. The USB chargers, yeah, maybe double 20 watts, that's 130 watts. So this will easily cover all the additional needs for power charging, whatever, on this bike. So pretty happy with it. In the end, if you want, you don't need to use a relay as I did. You can connect the heated grips directly to the power outlet that is behind the headlight mask, which is already prepared. I think it's limited to a 10 amp fuse, so yeah, you need to have around 100 watt or so maximum for all this everything that's gonna use on that outlet.